It's not as noisy as it was. And what what happens on these old machines when they sit for a long period of time? The oil drains out of every little space, and in the earlier videos, the machine sounded like a box of rocks, and the chain drive is quiet now. It does not need to be replaced, and I think that's kind of a mistake that people make, is they don't give things a chance. You know, it takes maybe 4 or 5 hours of running something like this, to make a good determination if something like a chain drive needs to be replaced, for example. And you really need to think things out and don't act rash. Putting a tooth belt drive in here, that's that'd be a great thing to do. Is it an improvement? I don't know. But it doesn't need that. It might have sounded like it needed that at first, but it doesn't need that. And the chain drive in this machine is really good. I'm really happy with it. And it just needs a little bit of time to settle down. And also the gear train in the machine is very, very noisy, and it's quieted down considerably. Hopefully you can tell from when it was running there. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, altering machine tools, okay? Be very careful about doing that. And one of the things that I've seen over the years is people wanted to speed up geared head lathes. And that can work, but you can also destroy your machine doing that too. Let's say you have an old machine that has a top speed of 500 RPM, an old geared head lathe, and you speed that up to 1,000 or 1,200 RPM. Well, why can't you do that? And I'll tell you why, and how you can. What happens with machines that are designed to run at a certain speed? They're designed to run at a certain speed, and it doesn't foam up the oil. That's called, excuse me, oil cavitation. And when you have foamed up oil and pressure points like gear teeth, that trapped bubbles of air actually act like miniature explosions and just trash the teeth out on your gears. Now, you can get away with speeding something up, but you gotta watch the oil. And so you can take and speed up a lathe twice the speed and run it and get away with it. But you can't run it all day like that, because the oil's going to foam up and it'll cavitate and destroy the metal surfaces where there's pressure. I just wanted to point that out. You can do things, but you can't do things, but yet you can do things, okay? So this machine here, this old Brown and Sharp milling machine, is just fun. It just sat for so long. I think a year ago I ran it for an hour. I go, man, that thing's loud, but it just needs some run-in time. And that's exactly, give things a chance before you do anything like alter them or something like that. It's a bad idea without careful thought. I want to take this camera loose and expand further on that. Now, one of the worst victims of altering are these Monarch 10EE lathes. And people call it updating them and stuff like that. I updated the drive in my motor generator lathe. Coffee there. Well, how did you update that, What did you put in there? I don't think you can actually improve upon that drive. I really don't. unless we're talking about a new Monarch factory drive. And I'm not even going to talk about the cost of something like that. You know, it just probably angers people. But these here, the module drive ones. And I'll tell you what, I'm kind of, really opinionated on this. And people tear the guts out of these things and they go, oh, it was really too far gone. Oh, it was not fixable. All of this stuff. And I'll tell you what, these module drives are robust. They're fixable. And if you can't fix it, maybe you shouldn't own it. You know, that's a harsh thing to say. But if you take and rip the guts out of this machine, you got half the machine. If you put some ding-dong drive that an idiot on a website comes up with. It's stupid. It's pure stupidity. And, I feel like I'm the only one that defends these machines and the factory that makes them. Because I've never seen such a ridiculous bunch of idiots, defile these machines like I have. It's ridiculous. I don't know where these people come from that think they know what they're doing with these machines. But I don't get it myself, I don't know. Videos like, idiot buys Ferrari. I guess that's kind of what that is. I don't know. But, I just don't know what people are thinking. But one thing I did do here on YouTube is I demonstrated the machines running and what they're supposed to do. So you make a decision for yourself. If you buy one of these, you want to tear the guts out of it, more power to you. But I'll tell you what, you got half the machine when you do that. So, I don't know. That's that. But I got a lot of cool things coming up here. And I got a request to show how I braze carbide. And I go, well, gee, doesn't everybody know how to do that? Well, no, they don't. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to show how I braze carbide on, and I'm a terrible welder. And the reason for that is where I live here. Over at the Hanford site, it's a nuclear reservation, and we have the best welders in the world, and the reason is that they have to be. So I've kind of gotten spoiled having those guys do welding for me, but I'm starting to do it myself. But I've always brazed my own carbide on. But I think once you start making your own cutting tools, I think you'll really, really find it quite enjoyable. And it can get you out of pinches quite economically too. And I'll show you an example over here. Where'd it go? It's right here. This dividing head here, a brownish sharp dividing head, the spindle thread for it is 4.5 threads per inch. And I didn't have an insert for that, for my insert boring bars. So I took and I came up with this. See if I can get that to show up. See that? That's a carbide blank right there. And I brazed it into the end. Isn't that ugly, what I did there? Just ugly. That carbide blank is very short. And so I put that groove in that piece of steel with an angle grinder. Then brazed that in there. I actually ground the point in the cutter grinder with methods that I've showed before. Brazed that in there, touched it up, and then cut that thread. Otherwise, I would have had to wait for tools to come from MSC. So, that chuck looks great on there, doesn't it? You bet, 4.5 threads per inch. So that's pretty coarse. I cut it on this Monarch 10EE here. And, that's quite a thread for a little machine like this. I'll be really glad to get the axle sent in here. Now that'll cut coarse threads. So anyway, I'm going to braze a piece of carbide onto a piece of steel and show you how easy it is to get started making your own cutters. Look at this one here. That is a CNMG insert that has been all ground around and made an ugly tool. See, you don't even have to use carbide blanks. You can take old inserts like I did there. There's where the screw went. See that? That's a nice tool there. I've used it an awful lot. That's used in the wall hopper head. Now this kind of tool, I'm trying to think about just how to describe how to make that. But I'll get into that. Okay, thanks for looking and I'll be back.